On Instagram, it's time to share with you my new personal toy. Sorry for the wind noise. And it's one of those kind of instant regret purchases. So here it is. I've got another MGB. So you know I got shot of my rally, and I said I needed a new toy for sunny days. And well, actually, I'm probably commuting this one every now and then. So the story behind this MGB is that I sold this to a neighbour 2 years ago, over 2 years ago maybe, and we had a deal because I was flipping MGBs from home then while still doing my corporate job. I buy them every now and then. I'd probably do 3 or 4 in a year. I bring them home, do the basics to them and flip them, basically make them look like this one, which was absolutely hanging this morning. The paint was faded, the wire wheels were filthy, the chrome was all rusty. I'll go through what I've done with it in a little while. So he saw me flipping them, and we had a deal. Basically he said, if you get one in before you start work on it, if I fancy it, can I buy it for you with just basically at cost? And I said, yeah, sure, no problem at all. He's a great neighbour, had no problem doing that for him at all. But having driven it, I said to him, if you ever do want to sell it again, give me first refusal on buying it back. Well, he came by last Sunday and said, James, I'm looking to sell the MGB, would you still want it? And I said yes, straight away. Went upstairs and got him the cash straight away. I'm giving away where I keep my cash now, aren't I? And gave him the cash straight away for it. The price I agreed with him was basically $3.5 grand. It's a 2000. It's a 1970 MGB, the first 1970. It's an MGB GT, so it's an original, genuine chrome bumper model, and the price we agreed was $3.5 grand. Now I can't remember what I sold it to him for. I should do, but I can't remember what I sold it to him for. Now when I sold it to him, it was remembered it being a really straight, solid, smart car. And I just love the fact it's British Racing Green with the wires. You can't do much better than that. Sorry for the movement on the camera, guys. I'm having to use my phone. My battery's run out on my GoPro. And so I didn't actually go and look at the car again when I offered him the money. I just gave him the money and said, drop the keys and that over to me, and I'll pop round and pick it up. And the 2 years since haven't been particularly kind to it. So from here, I imagine you guys are looking at it going, $3.5 grand for a chrome bumper MGB GT is not a bad buy, when these can go for $6,995, this kind of model, anywhere up to 15 grand. But it's when we start to get closer we start to see the issues. So we've got a little bit of rust down there, no biggie, but we've got the bubbling along the seam, which you get on these with a little bit of rust coming through there. We've got a lot of crustiness along here. Now I remember this door being particularly bad. I don't remember the rest of the stuff. And someone's obviously painted it sometime, and the paint's sort of cracking there, which isn't great. But now on this wing we've also got rust underneath here, where I imagine again someone's done some painting, or it started to bubble through where the rivets go through and hold the chrome to the wing. This is a very common spot for bubbling and rot, and we haven't escaped that with this one. It's obviously been repaired in the past. You can see a blend of paint there, but wasn't done particularly well. And then we come down the front valance, it's getting crusty. And then the worst bit is this, I don't remember this at all. Maybe it had been covered up and it's bubbled through since. So that is going to need attention. But to be honest, I mean, with MGBs you very rarely get them that aren't crusty. This side's better, we've got a little bit of rust there, but we're free along the rest of it. But here, it isn't rust, but it's where someone's painted, poor prepper again. They've not got in and keyed up here, they've lagged the paint on and it's just all crusted up. And here it started to actually peel away at the edge of the door. It's no good. Come around the back, we've got a small amount of bubbling along here. So yeah, a lot of bodywork stuff to do. Luckily around the roof is actually okay. But I don't remember it being that bad from when I bought it. It's got some bubbling down the bottom of the door here as well. Door skin's going there and there. Now these are all at a point where I can save these. I hopefully shan't actually have to replace the panels. I can save all of these. But I did want to get something that I wasn't going to tear apart and just drive as it is. So for the moment I'm thinking that I probably will leave it as it is. The thing that he did do right on this Again, it might be all this bodywork was there before and I just don't remember it. But if it wasn't a neighbour and we hadn't already agreed a deal, I don't think I'd have paid this kind of money for it. Nice good shut to the door there. Although these have climbed a lot since I last bought one. Underneath the engine bay is tidy enough. I haven't started cleaning this at all yet. We've got the standard 1800 twin carb, but you know, we've got a few new parts in here, and one thing this car does do well is run really sweetly. I used it to come into work today, and I used it for a run yesterday, and it runs really well, and I'd say it's actually quite nippy for an MGB GT. Keeps out modern traffic, no problem at all. I haven't really had a look in here, so we're going to discover this together. Here we've got the thing there with it. Oh, we'll have to look at that later. I can't be bothered to get that up now. So a quick look at the interior. I haven't cleaned the interior yet either. So I think these are aftermarket seat covers. They're not particularly good ones. And it's just a bit dirty at the moment. All needs a good clean up. Overdrive works, which is a nice plus. The tracking's off a bit. The wheel's off, slightly off centre. Everything in here will clean up nicely. He did put a new headliner in the Weberstow roof there. I think it's called a Weberstow roof. But this all just needs a really good clean. Now one thing that immediately lifts these, and I've done it just for flipping them when they've been clean otherwise, but they've had an interior like this, is you put the wooden steering wheel on with the chrome centre, and you put the perforated seat covers on it, which isn't a particularly hard job, and it lifts the whole interior of the car up. It's immediately more desirable. Am I in this car to make money? Well, I don't want to lose money on it. I suppose with what I made on the rally, I don't class the personal flips in amongst the rest of the business really. What I made on the rally, this, I think I made over £1,000 on the rally, so this realistically owes me about 2.5. The wire wheels cleaned up nicely. They looked absolutely filthy when I first got the car, but they've cleaned up nicely. They've got a little bit of surface rust in a few areas, but they've actually cleaned up really nicely. So yeah, the aim is I do want to make some money on the car. What I think I'll do is, I don't want to take it off the road, is I'll probably go around it panel by panel, order the paint in one go, so I know I've got the same green, but then work my way around panel by panel doing it so I can still drive the car, and it won't be a glass out, rubbers and all that resto, because I haven't got the time for that at the moment. But the main thing is get out and enjoy it. I don't like I did with the rally. I didn't strip the rally right the way down, did I, and make it mint. I got out and enjoyed it, and that's what I want to do with the MGB. I do enjoy driving the MGBs. You know, I've got the Roadster as well, and I've got my wide body Sebring inside that I'm building up on, haven't I? But for the moment, what this does do well, and which I needed, is it drives really, really well, so I can get in it and use it. Haven't got it on the ramps and looked underneath. As I recall, it was solid underneath, but anybody who's had one of these knows there can be a multitude of horrors hiding underneath the car. So yes, that's what I bought for my personal one. I probably overpaid for it, like I said I did with the rally. When I bought the rally, remember I say I overpaid on the rally, but I did end up still making money on it. The thing with these is, if you can't fix them yourself, don't go this route, because it'll cost you a fortune having someone do the restoration. Only buy them like this if you can do the work yourself, because then you can still make a bit of cash on them, or you won't be upside down on them. But if you have no idea how to do any of the work, you don't want to get involved in them to be buy the very, very best one you can, one that's just been restored by someone reputable, because otherwise you'll end up spending a fortune on them. Because there is a lot of graft to get this paintwork right. But anyway, I didn't take a picture of it before I cleaned it up, which I know is bad show, because it really was absolutely hanging, faded and dirty and filthy. But she's looking really smart now. So anyway, I'm going to close up for the day. It's Saturday, and go and enjoy her for a bit.